Hello, and welcome back to our beloved listeners. This is the 8-Minute English Podcast series on the Learn English Podcast channel. I'm your host, Nathan, and it's a pleasure to have you with us again. Before we talk about today's topic, I want to ask you something. Do you always feel like you're missing out on the best parties, the latest trends, or the most exciting adventures? If so, you're not alone. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, is a very common feeling in our modern, hyper-connected world. In this podcast, we'll talk about the origins, causes, and effects of FOMO, especially how social media has made this problem. Also, we've prepared a special free PDF for this episode, full of useful tips and vocabulary to help you learn more. Make sure to check it out. So, join us as we talk about the good and bad sides of the fear of missing out. Hello, everyone. In our presentation today, Anna and I are going to talk about FOMO, the fear of missing out.
FOMO is a very common feeling that many people experience in our modern world. It's the fear that you're missing out on something important or fun that other people are doing.
That's right. FOMO can make you feel left out or anxious, that you're not part of the latest trend or social activity. It's that nagging feeling that you should be somewhere else doing something else.
FOMO is driven by our natural human desire to be socially connected and part of a group. When we see our friends or others posting about the great time they're having, it can make us feel like we're missing out.
The term FOMO was first used in the early 2000s, but the underlying fear of missing out has existed for much longer. Humans have always had a natural tendency to want to be part of a social group and not be left out.
That's true. Before social media, people would get FOMO from things like not being invited to a party or not being included in plans with friends. It was more localized to your immediate social circle.
All right, let's talk about the connection between FOMO and social media.
Social media platforms are a major cause of FOMO these days. When we constantly see our friends and peers posting about the fun, exciting, or important things they're doing, it can make us feel like we're missing out.
Definitely. With social media, we have a window into everyone else's lives that we've never had before. We see the highlights, the parties, the adventures.
Exactly. Social media creates a fear of missing out on experiences, events, or social connections that others seem to be having. This can lead to a lot of anxiety and dissatisfaction with our own lives.
And it's not just about social events. Social media also shows us the latest trends, products, and opportunities. Seeing everyone else jump on the newest bandwagon can make us worried about being left behind.
That's a great point. FOMO on social media isn't just about missing out on fun. It's also about missing out on important information, connections, or chances to get ahead.
As we've discussed, FOMO is very closely tied to social media use. Let's talk about how this can impact our mental health.
FOMO triggered by social media can lead to a lot of negative feelings, like anxiety and depression. Constantly seeing others having fun or succeeding can make us feel bad about our own lives.
That's right. When we see our friends and peers posting about their awesome experiences, it's easy to feel like our own lives don't measure up. This can really hurt our self-esteem and overall happiness.
FOMO creates a vicious cycle. The more we use social media, the more FOMO we feel, which then makes us use social media even more to try to keep up. This can be very draining mentally and emotionally.
Absolutely. FOMO has been linked to increased feelings of loneliness and even addiction to social media. Constantly worrying about missing out takes a big toll.
Even if we're not experiencing FOMO directly, the habit of constantly checking social media and comparing ourselves to others is just not good for our mental health.
Okay, let's talk about how FOMO can impact our decision-making, especially when it comes to social activities and spending money.
FOMO can really influence the choices we make. When we see our friends going to a cool event or buying the latest trendy item, it can make us feel like we need to do the same thing, even if it doesn't actually align with our interests or budget.
FOMO can lead us to make decisions that we might later regret just because we don't want to feel left out. We might go to a party we don't really want to attend or buy something we can't really afford.
And this doesn't just apply to social events. FOMO can also impact bigger life decisions. We might take a job we're not excited about, or move to a city we don't really want to live in, just because it seems like the trendy or popular choice.
Being aware of how FOMO influences our decision-making is really important. We have to learn to tune out the pressure to keep up with others and focus on what's best for our own lives. Now that we've heard some wonderful weekend stories, let's talk about some key vocabulary related to our topic. First up, tendency. If somebody or something has a particular tendency, they're likely to behave or act in a particular way. There's a tendency for this disease to run in families. Next is connection. Something that connects two facts, ideas, etc. Consumers are more likely to buy something from a person or shop they feel a personal connection to. Depression is another noun, a medical condition in which a person feels very sad, anxious, and without hope, and often has physical symptoms such as being unable to sleep. She suffered from severe depression after losing her job. Let's look at self-esteem, a feeling of being happy with your own character and abilities. Some children suffer from low self-esteem and expect to do badly. Finally, decision, a choice or judgment that you make after thinking and talking about what is the best thing to do. I think I've made the right decision. Let's delve into two important questions about our topic. The first question is, what is FOMO? FOMO stands for fear of missing out. It is the feeling that you are missing out on important or fun experiences that other people are having. FOMO is a very common problem in today's world, especially with the rise of social media. The second question, how does social media affect FOMO? For me, social media allows us to constantly see what our friends and peers are doing. This can make us feel like our own lives are not as exciting or fulfilling. Seeing the highlights of other people's lives on social media can trigger feelings of FOMO. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these questions. Please leave your comments below and let's discuss. As we wrap up today's episode, I will tell you some strategies for creating a life that's free from the fear of missing out. The key is to focus on your own goals and priorities, rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. Make a conscious effort to set personal goals that are meaningful to you, not just things that will make you look good on social media. It's important to identify your own values and what really matters to you in life. Then you can build a life that aligns with those things rather than just chasing experiences for the sake of not missing out. And building genuine, meaningful relationships is so important too. Surround yourself with people who support you and your goals, not just people you feel you have to keep up with. And remember, it's okay to miss out on things sometimes. Not every experience or event is going to be for you, and that's okay. Learn to be comfortable with saying no and prioritizing your own needs. So go ahead, enjoy your days, and fill them with what you love. Until next time, stay happy and healthy.